Oh, six. I told y'all, and we did it in five. Pacers in six. Line them up. Hey, hey, hey. Mm, 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 mm. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. That's called rebel. I am reveling in the pace of success right now. Mirror my screen because I want y'all to read it. It's Indy the Anna. How we switch that? Should I do a virtual background? Hey, no, that looks stupid. I'm in the upstairs room. The background color. Hey, welcome, welcome. Short show this morning. Thank you guys for joining us. We really, really do appreciate you. We love you in the Lord. It's a great week. Pacers closed out as they should on the road. Pacers in six. Debate me. I can see where my two guests are, but hey, we'll just wait and see. We're going to drink this leftover coffee and just get it going. Today's episode, TMG Live Volume 3.3, is brought to you by The Modern Ground, How to Get Great Dating Outcomes in a Modern World. Parts 1 and 2 are available today on Amazon, wherever you buy books, but also on our website on tmgbookseries.com store. You can download audio and ebook. Y'all missed the sale, so don't even ask me. Y'all ran out. Now the affiliates and got a hold of it, and now not sorry, but you can buy it here, and it will download directly to your mobile device, the desktop of your computer, your kid's iPad, whatever you got. Stop using your kid's iPad for stuff. That's weird. Weird. That's what we got. Also, shout out to my friends who we will see shortly. Let me pull up the website. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Actually, I love them so much. Shout out to the McCoys, podcaster, Black in the Middle, Savvy Bridal. They have a location in St. Louis. If you are a woman who has listened to this content and now you're ready to get married and you're ready to buy a dress, they don't care where you live. Kansas City, St. Louis, Fort Lauderdale, they can get something to you. I'm rejecting you, McCoy, rejecting all of your cookies. And they will take care of you. Great reviews, great relationship in the market in the state of Missouri and parts of Kansas and in South Florida. Savvy Bridal, check them out. Not a sponsor, but we're just going to support them. And then we're going to go back to what we got to talk about. What y'all want to talk about? That thing's a bop. Let's bring it up. Amazing colors. I'm not doing pop the balloon. Stop. Like what I do on this is I just kind of rant. I'm not doing pop the balloon. Y'all about to get some excellence with God. How about that? Because y'all need Jesus. Halle.
Excellence
That's what you
is
need.
lived out when no one's watching. It's being faithful to the task at hand, not the dream in mind. It's knowing that what's been placed before me is not beneath me. God's got you here right now, where you're at that job, in this place for a reason.
Amen.
God actually may be teaching more through the smaller moments than the big ones. We could be learning so much more through the smaller things that he's bringing us through. The real test of
That's Destin Frost. He's the youth pastor at my church, Connect Church, Tennessee. He's great. He is killing it. We're in a series right now about choices, and I know none of y'all come here for Jesus Christ, but you're gonna get them. I just wanted to share that list of excellence. Yeah, the real test of excellence is true. I'm actually, you know what? I'm gonna ask for permission because I love them. We're about to start clipping Nay stuff as a reaction because y'all need the Jesus. Hold up. The last couple of weeks, we started by talking about the epidemic of male loneliness. Male loneliness. Translation: I don't know my purpose through Jesus Christ. I don't know my purpose through the call. I don't know my purpose through manhood. I don't know my purpose because it was never instilled in me. So we have an epidemic of male loneliness. We have talked about what male loneliness is and what it isn't. What is male loneliness? Men now acknowledging mental health challenges, their own traumas, and trying to overcome them. So we believe in therapy over here at TMG. We don't believe that you just need to bury your head, grin, and bear it. We believe that you need to get the help and the support that you need. But male loneliness is a problem. Do you guys understand me? It's a problem. The Pew Research Center for Male Loneliness. I don't even have to finish it. Google finished it. Two main influences for male loneliness: a lack of close friendships and the digital world. Not money, not women not choosing them, not the fact that I'm overweight, not the fact that I live in the basement with my mom. Society often expects men to be the alpha, although I can make an argument that in Western society, we don't want alpha men. We want beta men, and we want soft men, successful, strong, and independent. As a result, men are trying to maintain an image of strength and control and often feel discouraged to share their emotions with others. A 2021 study found that 15% of men report having no close friends, a significant increase from 1990. 2022 indicated that 6 in 10 men under 30 are single. While single men are more likely to report loneliness, it's not limited to them. That 40% of men reported feeling lonely once a week. That's over 20,000 people that they've polled on that. That's a nice size. We talked a little bit about male loneliness. Psych to Go, who's 12 million subscribers. Make sure you subscribe to the page. Make sure you join it. This video on male loneliness is good. So last week we talked a little bit about the causes, and the causes were financial strain, social media expectations, and self-image. Now let's talk about romanticizing loneliness. So fair use, educational and entertainment purposes only. But let's go ahead and follow back up with Psych to Go. The rise of male loneliness, romanticizing loneliness. Let's react.
Romanticizing loneliness. With the perceived rise in male loneliness, there has also been a rise in media that reflects this change. Movies like Her and Blade Runner 2049 are cultural touchstones for how some men see themselves. The protagonists in these films are deeply lonely men who try to embrace their emotions but can only share these feelings with manufactured love interests. To some men, that might sound extremely familiar. Even before the pandemic trapped everyone indoors, the computer was a lot of men's only hope for connection. Porn replaced sex, and video games replaced real human interaction. With movies and TV shows centering around people who long for true interaction, that pain seemed to mean something. Now, men see these romanticized versions of loneliness not only as something they relate to, but as something they can use. Sometimes this turns into motivation, fuel for the
Well, hold on. I know I came off camera for a second, but I want to go back to that.
shows centering around people who long for true interaction.
Hmm.
That pain seemed to mean something.
Mm.
Now, men see these romanticized versions of loneliness not only as something they relate to, but as something they can use. Sometimes
All right. So this is what we've talked about with the rise of AI. This is dangerous. And the movies from 10, 15 years ago, Blade Runner and Her, actually kind of illustrate that. The men in there were lonely and they were seeking connection, and more specifically, female connection. And they got it through artificial means. We've been saying for 20 years that men are choosing peace over progress. I would rather sit at the house, go to the gym, play my video games, doom scroll, look at corn, than get out into the world, get into the community, assert myself with dignity and honor, build a high value skill, take that high value skill to the market and profit with integrity. I won't do that. It's easier for me to stay at the house and spend my VC on 2K. Now, and I love video games. Everybody who's been here and following me, I used to play all of them. Need for Speed, all the 2Ks, all the EAs, all the fighting games, even from arcade days. I ain't got time for that. There will be a time where I can go back to it, but y'all know me, I'm gonna monetize it. I'm gonna probably start a team and we're gonna play Super Smash Brothers on the Switch too that I'm not able to own, which is funny.
Times this turns into motivation, fuel for the gym, or other methods of self-improvement. For other men, loneliness only makes them feel cast out and rejected,
Yeah.
not only by potential romantic partners, but by society as a whole. Technology.
Okay. So technology is the next step, but when we go back through the chat, let's view what the chapter is again. But the romanticizing of loneliness. Movies do it, songs do it, the internet does it. Men, we believe that the great dating and relationship outcome that you want is 100% within your control. Over here, TMG book series, The Modern Ground, we talk about in our first two books how to get great dating outcomes in the modern world. You are in charge of your outcome. You have to become the best version of yourself. Know who you are, what you want, what you qualify for, and then with whom you qualify for, know what they want from you. If you don't know those things and do it in that order, you will continue to feel lonely. Why is that important? If I know who I am, I know what type of version of man that I am today. If I'm a city boy or a male, I don't qualify for relationship outcome, according to the books. Above the line are modern men, traditional men, and high value men. They qualify for relationship outcome. Below the line, males, guys, dudes, city boys, boys. And boys don't qualify because, like all of us who have little boys that are 5, 6 through 13, they have no emotional uh, management or coping mechanism, so they have no business being in a relationship. And none of that has to do with money right now, ladies. Before you start going in, oh, let's get money. No, has nothing to do with resourcing. We're talking about a mindset because a modern, traditional, and high value man has resourcing, or they can go to the market and get resourcing. Know who you are. So I know that I am a male. I have not emotionally healed from all of my traumas, and I am expecting a woman that I meet to manage them for me. Ladies, that's why you're sitting with a guy at your house who's a male, who looks like a man, talks like a man, sounds like a man, acts like a man. He thinks he's a man, but he's not a man. And you're frustrated with him. And God forbid you have a baby with him. And after you have a baby with him, you have a second one. And then you're talking about ain't no good men out here. You had a male for 10 years. So of course, it through your lens and your friend's lens, all four of them, and your sister, there's no good men out there. Y'all keep dating the same version of a male. So know who you are. Know what you want. I know who I am. I'm a male. I would like to have a modern woman, please. Okay. Modern woman requires 50-50. A modern woman requires manhood and standing. So I have to become a modern man. Modern men are okay because of the societal norms and the shift in culture being 50-50. Modern men and modern women are not a bad word over here. That's a bad word on the other channel you just scroll past. We don't just say these modern women over here or these modern men over here. We don't say that. Modern men are the first version of men and modern women that qualify for relationship outcome. So since we know that to be true, what are you complaining about? So I know who I am. I know what I want. I want a modern woman. That means I have to now start doing the work to become modern. Know who I am, know what I want, know what I qualify for. I am a male. I need to become a modern man so I can get a modern woman. I then start doing the work of becoming a modern man. That means that I start to understand how to overcome my trauma emotionally through therapy and through support groups, through church. I start getting involved with my community through fraternity, through church, mosque, or uh, Kingdom Hall. At this point, I'd say choose Jesus, but you choose something because what you choosing ain't working. And then people like that. Um, Then you get yourself in the gym. So you're working on your faith. You start working on your fitness. You stop eating out. Don't go to Chipotle and Culver's every week. Don't get pizza every week. Start learning how to cook some basic meals for yourself. So now you're working on your fitness and your finance and your food. And then you start developing better friendships, deeper connections. It doesn't make sense that 15% of men feel like they have no connection. The number is actually greater post pandemic. It's around 35% of men under the age of 35 are reporting that they are not feeling like they have one close friend. I got multiple close friends all throughout the country. I pick up the phone, we talk like it's 2003, 2008, 2009, 2012, 2024. And relationships are developing, and relationships, those friendships serve a place. And then you work on your family. Get your relationship, overcome your trauma with your daddy and your mama. Work through it and create an effective boundary and love on them as they age in life. You're now a modern man. Oh, and then for work, you have a high value skill. So now your finances are going to show improvement because you're actually dedicated at work. Your boss and your boss's boss see that you don't show up at 9. You actually show up at 8:40. You're clocked in. You have your coffee. You're ready to go. Or you're logged into your computer. You're on Teams. You're green most of the day. Your routes are clean. You're not doing a whole bunch of stopping at Speedway, Bonded, Wawa. Where else y'all like this? Circle K, HEB to get you a coffee and a donut in the middle of your shift. You actually are working your shift and taking your breaks at your time. In 2 years, you'll be promoted and making more money than everybody that you started with. And that's probably a show I really need to do about what's happening in corporate America and what bosses and business leaders are looking for and what the market's delivering. I think I'm gonna do that next week. We done with male loneliness because I'm about to teach y'all how to get to level up. Let's finish this with technology. And then after you know who you are, what you want, what you qualify for, and then know what a modern woman wants. She wants 50-50. She doesn't want 37-45. And I'm not talking about this toxicity that I'm hearing about. What do I look like a 50-50 type of chick? You actually do. Do I look like a 50-50 type of dude? I'm gonna pay all the bills. No, you're not. You ain't got bread like that. The average income for men in the United States is $58,000. You don't have bread to be paying all the bills. Being in a single household in 2025 and beyond actually makes no sense. You actually have better financial incentive to do the work we're talking about doing, meeting someone, making a deal, and then starting to move down the road of life. Because we say that the best outcome for society is one man with one woman, long term committed relationship with marriage, children, legacy as a result. Society benefits. Look at the societies that are thriving right now. They follow that equation. Look at the ancient ways, as the Bible says. The ancient ways are what drive societies and citizens forward. But y'all don't want to do that. Let's continue with technology. Quick show.
We all want different things in life, but technology like social media can project an ideal of success that we all feel like we should meet. For many men, part of being successful is having someone they adore by their side. But beyond that, what do men want out of relationships, and how does technology affect that? The relationship between men and women has changed. Men feel that DMs and Tinder aren't just the easiest way to try to win the affection of women, but
They're not.
also the only way. Men struggle to meet and court women because
You want to effectively flirt and attract women? Go do what I just said. Reclip that and go do what I said. Disappear for 6 months. Because for the 6 months, ladies, and you can testify to this, you're going to be seeing a lot of nonsense. So when he comes out of hiding for 6 months, he's going to be a vast improvement of what you've been dealing with. Amen, church.
the channels to do so are extremely competitive. The unfortunate truth is that the best times to meet women and form relationships are when you're young, in high school or
False. That's the worst time. 18 to 33, men. Okay, for the males and the guys that are listening at this content, because I can tell by the demographic data, it's not 18 to 33. It's 33 through 40 where you're going to get the best outcome. You're going to get everything you want, but that requires a 15-year commitment of doing the work. If you make a deal with someone in high school and college and she is willing to see it through with you as you move things forward, That is what that means. But the reality is, in a modern world, y'all ain't ready, y'all ain't qualified at 16, 18, 20, 22 to be making a life partner decision. You don't have the wisdom yet. 18 to 33 gives you the 15-year period to figure out and become the best version of yourself, man, to level up with your fitness, with your family, your friendships, and your finances. And then as your faith continues to grow on a faith journey, you don't want a faith journey, that's fine, but we talk about Jesus over here. You will then grow in more wisdom, and wisdom begats more wisdom. Bible says your spiritual gifting will make room for you through the Holy Spirit. So as you are developing in your faith walk, more opportunities come along. And the women you meet at that point, gentlemen, can't act like the women you complain about online. Best time to meet women.
University.
I'm about to shut
Past
this down.
that point, it becomes more difficult. Male loneliness is on the rise because outside of high school and university,
Yeah.
and the experiences associated with those periods of life, we have to rely on technology to meet people. This creates the reality we find ourselves in. Men competing with other men in a competition that women don't even realize they're judging.
They are. Women are swipe. I did the swipe video for live last year in volume, I think it was 2.6, and then even on our first season back in 2023. We talked about the epidemic because I didn't know. I ain't have to do that when I met my wife. I ain't have to swipe. That was a waste of time. I actually met her through a hookup, Everyone knows the story. I talked about it at the wedding and I'll talk about it here. It was my line brother of Omega Psi Phi and her line sister of Delta Sigma Theta introduced us and said we needed to meet. And when one of my pro fights who didn't speak, never spoke up, I was like, oh, I need to meet her. If he telling me and he my pro fight, come on, somebody, y'all know what that means. He knows. Rest is history. Now we got 2 kids. Maybe we'll have a third. Y'all pray for her, though.
So, as our social spaces continue to be replaced with online convenience, men and women will only become more lonely.
Yeah.
The sense of competition between men is on a global scale thanks to social media. A 2024 study found that it affects men differently than women.
Mm-hmm.
Researchers found that problematic Instagram use is directly associated with general anxiety, social anxiety, and loneliness.
Guys, that's why in January and at every church in America, every art church, every black church, every multicultural, multi-ethnic church, they're asking you to take a fast on social media. Social media is triggering your anxiety because the algorithm knows what triggers you. If I wanted to be up the algorithm, I would come in here and just start bashing because that's what's rewarded. But social media is not giving you positive messages. You're not reading your scripture. You're not in a group chat where you all are uplifting. You all are complaining about everything you're going through. That creates a sense of anxiety and worry, and it heightens what you're actually dealing with. And it's a lie, the enemy.
Social media doesn't remind you that you should be competing. For those who have struggled to maintain friendships, relationships, or close ties
This
with
is good.
family,
We're going to
it
do
can
this
feel like
every week.
social media is yelling, "You're losing," every time you log on.
You're losing.
Loneliness is a trap.
All right, we'll save loneliness as a trap for the next week, the daddy. We'll say that because that is actually really good, but not as good as this. The Modern Ground: How to Get Great Dating Outcomes in a Modern World, parts 1 and 2. Digital versions are available. People keep asking me about part 3. Let's get part 4 and part 3. Let's give it a chance. Let me get a chance on that. We'll do that. I was supposed to turn the music back on, but I didn't. Whatever. I'm doing what I want to see the show. Go and buy the book. Leave us a comment. Join us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, X. Make sure you leave a comment below. Make sure you like and share this video and look at one more video before you leave today. I'm your host. I am the author. I am the creator. I am Glenn. TMG book series, and this has been TMG Live. Have a great rest of your day.